Sitka Gold, we've got a discovery up in the Yukon. We're working on what's called an intrusive related gold deposit. There's been a number of discoveries in the Yukon recently, ours being one of them. So it's an exciting new discovery. We made our first discovery in 2021, and in 2022 found another second deposit, and just this year in 2025 we found a third deposit. So our mineral resource up to now in our two deposits is about, if I add them all up, which I'm not supposed to do, it's 2.8 million ounces of gold. But we'll be increasing that. As I mentioned, we made a third discovery, and that one we're working on. We've released all our results. We just had our final press release this week, and we're going to put out the initial mineral resource estimate on that in the next few weeks. So I can't tell, is this up behind me or no? Technology. Anyways, without the visuals, I'm not sure if people are familiar with the Yukon. There's something that's called the Tombstone Gold Belt. It's a belt of rocks that stretches across Yukon and Alaska. The first discovery was the Fort Knox mine in Alaska. Yeah, no problem. And it was discovered in the late 1980s, and then people recognized that the similar geology stretches across both Yukon and Alaska, so folks started coming over the Yukon and looking for the same styles of deposits. So this is our most recent discovery. This is called the Rosgobble discovery. We've drilled that over 1.1 kilometers. If I was to draw a line from this drill, the other one's there. So we've made this discovery. We did about 13,000 meters of drilling into that, and we're going to produce an updated or initial mineral resource estimate on it. We have a great management team. We found, like I mentioned, 2.8 million ounces till now in a new discovery. So obviously do your due diligence. I can only give you a snapshot of the company. So our website is full of information, and including the bios on some of us there. And I'm a geologist myself. I'm the VP Corporate Development, but I'm an optimist being a geologist. So if you were in here for the silver session, we're focused on our RC Gold project. It's a gold deposit in the Yukon, but we do have other assets in North America, down here in Nevada and Arizona. One of the projects is called Burrow Creek Gold Silver. It's a historical silver and gold deposit. Has 5 million ounces of silver and over 100,000 ounces of gold. We've done bits of work on that historically here, but our discovery in the Yukon really shifted our focus up there. But that's an asset we're looking at monetizing, obviously, with silver going up to 100, and Willem's prediction, it's a pretty valuable asset. Also, Alpha Gold is in a gold trend in Nevada called the Cortez Trend. It's a significant deposits in there, including the 4 Mile, some pretty spectacular deposits. So we have great assets, but we're focused on the Yukon. Here's that Tombstone Gold Belt I talked about. You can see Fort Knox in Alaska. In the Yukon, people came over, worked in the western part of the belt there, where there was discoveries made. It's the most accessible part of the Yukon. And then Snowline Gold, if you heard of them, made a spectacular discovery a few years ago. That really changed people's attention on these because they're large, low-grade deposits, usually less than a gram per ton. Snowline's discovery was over a gram per ton, as well as our discovery. So it's changed the narrative. These are large, higher grade, low grade deposits, at least what we're working on. So given the margins with the gold price, they're very attractive. So this year we did a 32,000 meter drill program. We found a new discovery. We're going to put out initial resource on that very shortly. In this new discovery, it also has a byproduct, tungsten. These deposits are associated with tungsten. This one's unique. It contains a lot of tungsten. So it looks to be a large low-grade tungsten deposit as well, which adds that critical metal component to this project. And that's really caught people's attention. We have a lot of exploration upside on a number of other things too. We have $45 million in the bank, so we're completely financed for next year's work. So I like to say we've got 60,000 meters of drilling. That's a lot of press releases and a lot of good drill results bought and paid for already. Here's our share price over the last year, up from 25 cents to $1. Our market cap's over 400 million. We've attracted the attention of some larger funds. Franklin Templeton bought deals with us on our last financing, so that's where we're up to that $45 million. So we're good to go for next year. We've got analyst coverage with range of price predictions from $1.80 up to $3.50. So we're well positioned for a really exciting year coming up. Here's where we're located. If any of you have been lucky enough to go to the Yukon, it's an easy flight from Vancouver. Get up there in 2 hours. But you can fly into Dawson City, home of the famous gold rush. And it's a 2-hour drive into our property. So we're extremely well located. You land at the Dawson Airport here, go down the Klondike Highway, 35 kilometers, you're into our property. There's other good projects around us, but we're ideally located. Power line runs down the Klondike Highway, so being in the north can be infrastructure challenge, but certainly our project has some huge advantages for where it is. As I mentioned, I talked about these being large, low-grade deposits. Snowline made their discovery at Valley. It's over 1 gram per ton. Really caught people's attention. Our Blackjack deposit's around 1 gram per ton. And so this new discovery, we're working on that resource. We'll see where it comes in. But just as a kind of bellwether, Victoria Gold had the Eagle Mine. Same style of deposit, 50 kilometers away from it. Their initial grade at the mine was 0.63 grams per ton. So that increase in grade is a lot of profit. So as this project develops, that grade's going to be critical. And with the price of gold where it is, it's looking very robust, to say the least. So this is just a zoom in to the northern part of the property where our 2 deposits, Blackjack and Eiger, are. There's the conceptual pits. Blackjack is larger, higher grade, about 2.3 million ounces at a grade of 1 gram. Eiger's smaller and a little lower grade, kind of just under 500,000 ounces at 0.5 gram. But we're in a cluster of these intrusions. Here's those 2 deposits in the north. Those pink blobs are these granitic intrusions that all have the potential to host these gold deposits. This Roscobble discovery that we've made sits within this intrusion there, and those are only 5 kilometers apart. A lot of other exploration targets within that belt in the middle there, but you can see the location of them. Any kind of mine development would feed into a kind of central facility. That's a long section with the deposits in the north, the new discovery in the south, and some exploration targets in the middle. Again, there's that Roscobble. We've done 13,000 meters of drilling. All those drill holes have hit mineralization. That's over 1 kilometer distance. So it's very nice, to say the least. And as I mentioned, we're working on that initial mineral resource estimate. There's a section showing we've hit tungsten in that as well, so that's really interesting to have that as a potential byproduct. It's recovered through gravity methods similar to gold, so it's looking very interesting. We're doing more work to kind of quantify that. If you've never seen it, that's the mineral scheelite, glows under ultraviolet light, super cool. Very easy to spot by our geologists when they're logging the core. That's what really got us onto this. That's the footprint of this Roscobble. We'll have an initial mineral resource estimate, but it's only an initial one. We're doing 60,000 meters of drilling next year. It's really going to define this deposit and set the project up for moving into economic studies. We've done metallurgical work on it as well, so it's amenable to heap leaching. We've got good recoveries through typical milling and grinding methods and gravity recovery. So that's very encouraging. We're doing more of that work. And here's the timeline. We're going to finish defining the size of that Roscobble discovery as well as our other 2 deposits this year. We'll continue doing exploration on other targets on the property. We started baseline environmental studies, and we'll be moving into economic studies early in 2027. It's a big property, lots of targets, so there's that quick introduction. We've got deposits in the making. We've got a lot of targets that are feeding into that exploration trend, and that's Sitka Gold for you. Thank you very much.